In this video, I want to talk about self-defense tools that are highly regulated, even here in the United States. Stick around. When it comes to what people are willing to carry, everybody varies. You've got some people who have the mindset, it's my constitutional right to carry whatever I want. And of course, I'm talking about USA. And then you have some that are a little bit more leery and mindful with regards to, state laws. I'm not going to choose sides in this video or tell you which crowd you should fall into. I'm just going to address the realities with regards to certain tools that are highly regulated state by state. What I will also do is share some alternatives for those who live in really strict areas or even parts of the world where you can't carry anything. First, let's address knives. We all know that for the most part, a knife is a tool. And when you're carrying a knife with you, that's really supposed to be the premise as to why you have it on you ultimately. I carry knives every day, both for tools and for self-defense. But if somebody was really pushing me as to why I'm carrying this blade, my answer is going to be, well, this is a tool. I carry it with me every day. But if you're carrying something like this, a double-edged knife of any kind, and I'm not just picking on the Citavian knife, but if you're carrying anything that's double-edged, I will tell you that it's highly regulated in most states. There may be a couple where they're not, but double-edged knives come heavily under fire. Dirks, daggers, all of those kinds of blades. Some states will let you carry whatever you want as long as you carry it out in the open. Now, I'm not going to tell you what states are or not. You can go to Google and search whatever state you live in, and then say knife laws. So if you live in Virginia, you say Virginia knife laws, and you'll get led to the right place. If you don't care about knife laws, I say that's your decision. I won't discourage you either way. It's just my personal opinion that there are a lot of other legal blades available to you without going through everything you'll have to go through to prove your rights in court. So that would be my alternative for a double edge, depending upon what state you're in, and that is just a legal knife. Again, you pick your own battles. Another highly regulated tool, and it's something that I've covered a lot on my channel, is a sap, leather sap, or a blackjack. It's legal in some states, in others it's not. It's a felony in some states, it's legal in others. You have to, again, search that. You can go to Google and type blackjack or leather sap laws for the state of yada yada, wherever you live, and you'll find out pretty quick what your state has to say about that. These are very effective self-defense tools. I've done videos and drills with regards to the sap. You can flow like water with these things, and they hurt. Police officers used to carry these things. I've smashed coconuts with these. They fracture things, and they do a lot of damage, and that's why they're heavily regulated. And a sap is not one of those things that if you're carrying it around, you could say, oh, I'm just carrying this as a tool. I don't know, maybe you've got some kind of excuse that I haven't thought of. Maybe you want to say, I'm just carrying around a good back scratcher, sir. I don't know. Nevertheless, it's going to be one of those things highly regulated depending upon where you live. An alternative to a blackjack or leather sap is a bag of change. I mean, who's going to condemn you for carrying around a bag of change? Maybe you want to carry around a decent sized bag and a decent amount of change, bandana, change bag. But, these are things you can carry. You can carry change around with you, and you can carry a change bag. And I will tell you, a bag full of change is not pretty when it's used effectively. A good friend of mine here in the city that I live in used to be a police officer, and he's seen multiple cases where people put change inside of a bandana. In reality, if you use a bag of change for self-defense, then that will come up. You will have to explain that. But my point is that a bag of change in and of itself is not regulated by the state. Number 3, knuckles. This is the only pair that I have. I'm not going to carry this around. I'm just not going to. I have other things that I can carry that will put me in less hot water if I have to defend myself, but this is brutal. Maybe you're one of those people that's like, hey, I like that. Where can I get a pair? I think I talked about these in another video. Butt knuckles are one of those things that vary from state to state. You're going to have to look up state laws. I believe in the state that I live in, the last time I checked, that I could carry a pair of brass knuckles with a concealed carry permit. I believe that's where my research took me. Don't bet your life on that because things change all the time. But my point is, research it. Research what your state has to say. I'm not going to carry these around. There's a whole lot of things that I can carry around that'll get me in a lot less hot water. You know, something like this right here, man, it's devastating. You look at that knuckle there, you look at that. This thing is like brass knuckles and a Kubotan combined, and knuckles are always going to be regulated. And again, it's one of those things that if you're caught carrying them, what excuse do you have for carrying it? That's ultimately the problem with a lot of these things, depending upon who you're dealing with. Some alternatives to like brass knuckles, steel knuckles, or maybe plastic knuckles. You're probably going to get in a little less hot water for that. It's still got its regulations and it's still got its issues. I did a video a while back talking about knuckles, and I brought up Canada, and I made the erroneous statement of saying that plastic knuckles were legal to carry around, and a lot of people brought me into correction real quick and basically said we can own them, we can have them, but we can't carry them. I think that's crazy if you ask my honest opinion, but that's the information that I got. My point is that plastic knuckles are a little less regulated. They are an alternative. Another alternative to brass knuckles, some people carry around rolls of coins to give their hand a little more weight. Some people will actually wrap a Bic lighter in their hand to stabilize their hand. There's other things that can be used. You have to get creative. And in speaking outside of the box here, never underestimate the power of a good flashlight to flash in somebody's eyes. I mean, who's going to put you in jail for carrying a flashlight? Point is, though, is that on a dark night, a bright light is formidable. Here's where I want to pass the baton to you as the viewer. I would love for us to collect as many controversial style defensive tools as we can in the comments section. I only covered 3, but there are more, and I'd love to hear from you. If there are things that you know are completely and totally regulated heavily by the states, do drop it in the comments so we can have some discussion. Thanks for watching. Take care.